Okay, so we're live and we're continuing our Winter's Daughter campaign, which we're running the module Winter's Daughter by Gavin Norman in the BX. This time I brought the book. I think I didn't have it last time. In the BX D&D system or Old School Essentials if you want the kind of modern cut of it. Last session, the adventurers met at a tavern, which is really a unique way for an adventure to start. And essentially, they all felt through various means or reasons that they needed to find this man, this person Ashton, um, and they did. And Ashton has been leading them through the forest on a quest to locate a ring of sorts. And I guess you guys can tell the rest of that. But I'm going to go through. We're going to have a new player, and we'll kind of incorporate him in a minute. But let's. We're gonna kind of cut to the morning, which is kind of interesting. Last night, you guys had been gathered around the fire, and as it began to get darker and darker, you noticed that all the flesh on your body, your skin, your organs, slowly it started with your skin, then slowly the organs and everything else, slowly became transparent. So you became kind of skeletal looking, except of course you had the bulk of yourselves, which you took surprisingly well. I'll say that. um, as you awaken, though, in the morning, as the first bits of sunlight are coming over into your eyes, you kind of look around at each other, and you can see that it seems like now, although it's much grosser, you can start to see some of the stuff under the skin, some of the organs and the muscle and the face starting to come back. And after a few minutes of maybe at first being a bit nervous, but then kind of realizing that this thing seemed to be going away, you're kind of restored to the former selves that you were. So that being the case, I'm just going to go down the list here, and you guys can tell us a little bit about your character and what you were thinking and what you plan on doing. Tony, go ahead.
The man known as Smiling Adrian, the merchant who deals in buying and selling and trading goods and things, is sitting there. He's looking at the effects that has happened to his skin and his body. And then he looks up towards the man who he thinks has hired them and brought them to this mission, Ashton. And he's thinking that he's probably brought us the wrong way. We probably shouldn't have went through all of this, and but it's probably that water I found that's caused this, so it's probably part of my fault, but it doesn't matter. All I got to do is just keep smiling, and it all work out in the end. Yep, it all work out in the end. And I guess the monk, he'll complain about food again today, but hey, just keep smiling. That's smiling Adrian, the thief, or excuse me, the merchant.
Merchant. Excellent. Speaking of the monk, Mike, tell us about your character.
Enoch is particularly well preserved for his age due to his wonderful diet. But having woken up, he'll immediately kind of look, thinking that this was previously a blessing of Saint Egbert, the keeper of the crypt, that this blessing is slowly being removed. So he's kind of puzzled as to why the blessing is disappearing, since he thought, perhaps he was not dreaming pure dreams or something, that Saint Egbert would have lifted this. His stomach rumbles a bit, and he grabs onto it, and he looks around to see if anybody is actually cooking anything, and then pops an acorn into his mouth and slowly begins to suck on it as to soften it.
Excellent. So, Nikki, you see your cleric friend and merchant friend waking up. Tell us about your character.
Okay. Piratessa was looking at herself last night and this morning and thinking, man, this would have been a really good trick to play on the patrons that came to see her family of players and fire eaters. And she says, this would have been really good. I need to learn this magic. Because she looks at Enoch and she says, I really told you that this wasn't a blessing. I'm telling you, it's fairy magic. And
Well,
I need to learn
what did you do?
it. It's the fairies. Maybe it's the pixies. Maybe we'll get to see the pixies. And she is.
Well, why would Saint Egbert abandon us in this moment?
She smiles at him and she is very excited to discover more of this fairy magic. Although she will keep the water, she will have another water skin to put different water in. So maybe she can study the other water later. And I am playing Piratessa. She's a magic user.
Excellent. So, Crystal, you could tell us about your character. Before you do that, you actually had the dreams again of the princess, and she is now redirecting you to head slightly more to the east of where you were going originally. But you awaken to see you now have your flesh back, and your companions are getting up and breaking fast, as it would be.
Yeah. Ashton gets up really before the sun even rises, and he looks up at the stars. He has pipe tobacco that he's smoking as everyone is waking up, and he's just kind of looking at the stars. With his free hand, he's kind of like making this L shape and like just kind of holding it up in the sky like he's trying to measure something. And then he puts his hand back down and nods and takes a puff of his pipe as his companions are all waking up. And he then points his pipe in a direction and says, "We need to go that way."
Excellent. So what's everybody thinking or doing?
Which way did you say we need to go, Ashton?
Ashton takes a puff of his pipe and kind of, with his free hand, vaguely motions a bit more eastward than what we've been going.
Oh, are you sure this time?
I've been sure every time.
She
We're here.
narrows her eyes at you, kind of looking.
Why do you ask him that question? He's going to tell you the same thing every time also.
We're here where we're at, aren't we? Haven't led you astray so far.
Exactly where are we then?
Here.
Oh, the man of mystery. Good priest, do you need something to eat this morning?
Yes, now that you mention it, yes, I will. And he takes the acorn out of his mouth. And yes, I will save this for later. And what is it that you're offering me?
Well, I'm hoping, with this new trail we're fixing to travail, that Ashton is very sure that this is the right path. So I'm sure on this path there'll be plenty of chance for me to maybe snare a rabbit.
Oh, well, that does sound appetizing. But you have nothing now to share?
Well, break your fast does not mean you have to do it as soon as you wake up. I mean, some people wait until, like, what is that, second breakfast? It's around lunchtime.
Second breakfast? But perhaps we should celebrate the blessing of St. Egbert leaving us So that would a small feast, perhaps, before we travel.
Oh, fine by me, fine by me. Piratessa, what do you have to eat?
I hand him a handful of acorns.
Well, I will take the head. Are you handing it to Adrian, or are you handing it to Enoch?
To you, to Enoch, yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, I'll take one and then I will hand it. I will pass it on to Smiley there.
She says, I don't eat much in the morning.
See, she breaks her fast later in the day also. See, point proven.
Yes. Okay, well, I suppose I can be agreeable with everyone. Yes. He pops an acorn into his cheek again to let it soften.
Come on, dear Ashton. Let's go into this new trail, but please tread softly in case there is a rabbit or something we can catch for lunch.
Very well. You know, to move silently, though, will reduce our speed.
We're just out on a big happy journey anyway, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Haven't the animals been pretty not afraid of us? Or am I remembering that incorrectly?
You are remembering that correctly. Yes, the animals have been much less afraid than you would imagine that they should be. Oftentimes, just staring at you until you get pretty close to them.
Well,
Right.
Pyrotessa has a point there. Perhaps we can move regular speed and still catch your elusive rabbit, Adrian.
Well, if we don't, I can, when we camp for the afternoon, the evening, I can always just put up a little snare and maybe catch us one.
Perhaps. Of course, having too much rabbit is a bad thing. They don't have enough fat on them.
Well, with the way the good friar here eats, I'm sure that, just a bite or
I've
two
taken
will
my
suffice him.
vows. I've taken my vows. I'm not a friar. Keep telling me that I'm a friar. I'm not. I've taken my vows.
Let's see. What is your exact title then?
Acolyte, I believe, is the word they use, but not friar. Not a friar.
Ah, head priest. Okay.
Yes, the vows have been made.
Well, let us get going before we waste more daylight, and Ashton will walk into the forest.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you're basically following what is, you would imagine, is kind of a simple game trail. Everybody can roll a d6 and a d10 again. Let me know what you got. I guess I'll just ask you since I can't really see the chat. So let me know, Tony.
2 on the D6 and a 9 on D10.
Okay. Mike.
1 and a 2.
Okay. Nikki.
3 and 5.
Oh, nice. Crystal.
With Adrian and Ashton being so alike, Ashton also got a 2 and a 9.
Oh, wow.
There's going to be a bonus for that, right? Okay, excellent. So you are traveling along for a bit of the morning. The sun's rising in the sky. It's a fine autumn day. You hear Adrian, and I guess Ashton, actually, if you're leading the pack, the soft sounds of what sounds like a flute in the distance playing.
Yeah, Ashton will kind of stop and put up their hand, and they look back to Adrian and kind of like motion to their ear.
Yeah, Adrian will stop in the. He's probably in the middle of the group, I would say, or closer to the back, probably fourth, third, or fourth. But yep, he'll stop and listen. Does he hear it also?
Yeah, yeah, you guys can definitely hear it. When once you all stop and everybody kind of listens, everybody can hear it. It's pretty faint. More so because you think that it's playing softly than that it's that far away. Like you would judge that it's pretty close, but that somebody's just like softly playing a tune.
Yep, he'll move on up then to pass whoever's second and go up to Ashton and whisper to him and go, well, it does not seem wherever that sound is coming from, they are trying to hide themselves. Do you want to just walk on in, or would you like for you and I to kind of go one to the other side of each other?
Ashton thinks for a moment, and then Ashton will nod and say, yes, you take the left, I'll take the right.
All right, let me tell the good high priest and fire woman that what we're doing. And Adrian will go back and tell Enoch and Tessa what they're going to do for them to kind of stay back a little bit.
Well, be careful, Adrian, and Ashton as well.
Always, good lady.
So you're hearing music, you say?
Yes, music from the heavens.
Wow, it's just St. Amphius again. She blessed us earlier. Remember? She's just with us again. I suggest we follow it.
But this time let me and good Ashton just stay a little bit ahead to make sure that this is something that's going to benefit us.
Well, if it's St. Amphius, it will benefit us.
But you can't be sure of that, Brother Enoch. I'm sorry, Acolyte Enoch.
Well, I think we need a dose of faith and understanding. Perhaps if we boldly come before St. Amphius, we will continue to be blessed on this journey. Not sneaking around like common thieves.
Common thieves? Oh, I am a merchant, good man.
Oh, there was nothing implied there. I was just saying. We should, if we are going to honor St. Amphius, we should just go forward boldly and embrace this blessing.
Well, I'll tell you what, you go boldly forth where no man has gone before, and you let me and Ashton sneak around the side, and when the little creature catches you and starts to put you on the spit to roast you, Ashton and I will come in and rescue you then. As we sneak around, of course.
Yes, like common thieves.
Oh, yes.
At least you'll taste good, Enoch. Supposedly eating acorns makes flesh taste better.
See, there you go. It is a good, healthy diet.
He has no fat on his body, though. He's not going to taste good.
True. I will listen to you, Adrian. I'll hang back a little bit.
Yes, I'd hate to lose both of you.
Well, I shall stay with the woman and give her comfort and protection.
I'm sure you will.
No, well, she has nothing to fear. Clearly, St. Cornus is with me. I will protect her chastity.
Good Lord, how many saints does it take to protect you, my man?
131.
Oh, I depend on one. You don't know what a saint I depend on? Saint Adrian.
I'm not familiar with that saint.
I will teach you. But not now, not now. Me and Ashton have work to do. We'll be back.
While they've been doing that, Ashton has been getting out their crossbow, and they have pulled the string back and loaded a bolt.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So you guys are gonna try to use a move silent.
Yeah, and also at this point, Adrian's going to take off his light crossbow and take it in case there is something they can sneak up on its range. So he'll have his light crossbow out just for this.
Okay, perfect. Let me do a little roll here. What's your chance there, Adrian? I guess it's probably the same roll to me.
Let me get my glasses so I can read. 20% move silently.
Okay, cool. And I guess the same for you as well.
I'm pretty sure it's 99% for me. No, it's like, yeah, it should be. It should actually be the same.
Oh yeah, so you guys kind of creep around, towards the you kind of like fan out, and then kind of come back towards the sound. What you see as you kind of approach, kind of peeking up from bushes and stuff, you see a glade, maybe about 25 feet in diameter. I mean, it's not perfectly round, but it's pretty round. In the center of the glade is a man. He seems to be standing kind of bent over, like he's picking something up off the ground. He's standing in what appears to be a ring of mushrooms that are about 10 inches or so tall, some kind of strange, interesting looking mushrooms. Around the outside of the ring of mushrooms, there is about a dozen or so small stones, and sitting on one of those stones is a very short individual. He is about 3 feet tall. He's dressed in what appear to be rags. They are dirty. He's got a big beard, but it looks like it's made of like bean sprouts. And as he's kind of playing this flute that's made out of a gourd, you see his eyes are just these big like balls. They almost look like small, like almost like tangerines. Basically, they're like bright orangey color, and they almost like he's crying. There's like pus dripping down. Yeah, he's playing the flute. It's kind of a lament, it's a sad tune. As he's kind of looking at this man who's standing there. What does this man look like, Yang? Who's bent over and frozen in time?
Yeah. Well, frozen in the circle is a robust-looking young man, perhaps in his early 20s. He's crouched, but he ought to stand about 6 feet tall in stature if he were to stand up. And he's got ruddy hair that almost comes down to his shoulders and short stubbles about his chin. His green eyes are fixed in a look of utter confusion. He is dressed in a brown leather armor about his torso beneath dark green tartan kilt. And you see tucked in his belt is a sling and a bag full of bullets. Clutched on his right hand is a large two-handed sword with a 4-foot blade and a foot-long hilt protected by a V-shaped crossguard. It's inverted and stabbed into the ground.
Excellent. So yeah, so you see this you guys are watching maybe for a few seconds, and you can kind of see this tall man in the center. He doesn't seem to be moving at all. The creature stops playing for a second, and he just says, just generally, he doesn't directly look at either one of you, but he says, "Oh, who's there?"
Would Ashton or myself have any idea of what this creature is? Anything about it?
Yeah, you can roll a d20. Try to roll under your wisdom to see if you might know what this is.
With a wisdom of 4, good luck.
You never know.
18.
Nope. You have no idea. How about Ashton?
Oh, sorry, I was muted. I rolled 10 under 12.
Okay, yeah. You would know, of course you can't obviously tell Adrian this now, is you believe, although you can't be 100% sure because you've never seen one before, that this could be a creature that is known as a moss dwarf. They're residents of the forest. They are, for the most part, collectors of different types of mushrooms. They harvest them. They can be peaceful, but you do notice that he does have on his side a short sword in the scabbard. They're not considered necessarily vicious. they're definitely civilized, as much civilized as you can be living in the woods.
Can Ashton and Adrian actually like see each other?
Probably not. I mean, you're both hiding.
All right, okay. So what Ashton's gonna do is Ashton's like purposely gonna like rustle the leaves where he's at, and then Ashton's gonna step forward, and they're gonna like put up their hands, basically trying to signal wherever Adrian's at to like stay put, but they're trying to make it look like they're just putting up their hands to be peaceful to this gnome, dwarf, whatever.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So you step out. He turns and looks towards you. And goes, welcome. Are you hunting in the woods so deeply?
Indeed. The game is usually very thick this time of the year in these places.
He kind of tilts his head really, really far to the side, like it's almost like he's going to like tip it over. And then he kind of straightens back up again and he says, I've not seen the likes of you around here before. He kind of adjusts himself on his rock that he's sitting.
I have been known to go here and there.
Huh. He reaches in his pocket and he takes out this cheese. You can tell it's cheese because you immediately smell it's this nasty, like super strong, stenchy cheese. And you can see it's got mold all over it. And he breaks a piece off and he starts eating it. And then he says, "Oh, how rude of me. Would you like some cheese?"
Yes, please. I would love
what do you have to trade?
cheese.
What do you have to trade?
What do I have to trade?
Perhaps some silver?
I perhaps have some silver.
Mm-hmm.
How much silver for a little cheese?
Well, I'm not selling it to you. It is a trade. You give what you think is right.
That seems fair. How about I will give you 2 silver for some cheese.
Huh.
And 2 more silver for a little information.
Well, let me think about this. 2 silver for the cheese and 2 more for information. He starts feeling around. You see that these rags that he has. There's like these like weirdly like sewn in buttons, pockets all over it. And you see like reaches in one, he pulls out a silver coin, sticks it back in, and then he reaches in another one, he pulls out another coin, and then he like reaches in another one, he pulls out like a bunch of centipedes kind of fall on the ground. And he's like feeling around, and he goes, yes, that sounds like a good deal. Come, pull up a stone. Eat with me. I am Tom. Who might you be?
Those who know me call me Wallace.
Huh. What do those who don't know you call you?
They do not call me anything, for they do not know who I am.
That makes sense. He breaks off a piece of the cheese and sticks his hand out, and you can see that his hand is like very dirty. It's got like earthy dirty, like a gardener might have, like his nails have dirt underneath them, and you can see that on his arm as he reaches out. There's like patches of moss that are growing in different areas.
Ashton will take the cheese from this fellow and will put into his hand, into the creature's free hand, 2 silver coins.
He looks at him like in the sun, and they glint around, and he's like, he puts one in the pocket, then he pulls it back out, and he changes it with the puck. It takes him like about a minute. He's like pulling different coins out of different pockets, and then finally he puts yours in various pockets. And then he looks at you.
Ashton then shows the other 2 silver pieces. And says, first, and we'll kind of do like a sleight of hand kind of thing to make one of the coins sort of like disappear so that Ashton is only holding one coin first.
He claps.
And Ashton will say, who is this man in the circle of these mushrooms?
That is a good question. I do not know. He came, I believe, sometime in the spring. And if I've been coming every day to watch, he seems to move a little bit each day. I predict in something like 10 years, he may be all the ways through the circle. Though I cannot be sure of this.
Do you know who put this man here?
Well, he likely put himself. Seems to me like he was trying to pick the mushrooms.
So,
isn't that obvious?
So the man trapped himself there, being a bit greedy, I suppose.
I don't know if trapped is the right word. Perhaps it was by choice.
This is a good point. It could have been by choice.
Yes, yes. Men are strange beings.
Indeed.
He breaks off some of like the bean sprouts from his beard and starts eating them.
And Ashton will then flip the silver coin to him.
He catches it and then spends, again, way too much time trying to figure out which pocket to stick it in. And then eventually looks at you again.
Ashton will then... Ashton's then going to do like the kind of classic trick of reaching behind this fella's ear. And then as Ashton pulls their hand back, they'll have the other silver coin.
Crystal.
Okay. There's also like about 6 or 7 centipedes on her hand.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Crystal.
Hold 1 second. I'm sorry.
Adrian, at watching this, he is going, he hears what the dwarf says about the man moving very slow. He's going to take his crossbow and he's going to shoot his bolt like right in front of Bjorn to see if he reacts or flinches.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely do that. You do that. He would not flinch because he's basically... Although when you shoot the bolt, it flies through the air and sticks into the ground. And, of course, the dwarf on the stump jumps. Woo! Woo! What was that?
Then Adrian comes out of the woods and he goes, did you see that? I almost had it.
I didn't see anything. What was it?
You didn't see... It was a white rabbit. You did not see. I've been chasing the white rabbit all day.
Oh, yes. Never chase a white rabbit. They are very fast and tricky.
Yes, they are. What are you two speaking about? What is wrong with the man? He did not even flinch.
Oh, well, when mortals like us enter into the fairy realm, the sense of time is very different. As I was telling this one over here, he's been here since the spring, but I believe he's moving a little bit each day. It's hard to measure. I can't really go in there and find, but now that bolt is in the ground, we can compare it. I would guess that it would probably take him about 3 weeks to get closer to the bolt.
Or what if I rope him? If I throw a rope around, you think we could pull him out?
Oh, yes, that would be a good idea. I mean, I'm not very strong.
Well, I'm still pretty young and spry myself. I'm going to try that. And Adrian's going to take off his rope and try to lasso Bjorn.
Yeah, you should be able to do that. I mean, it might take you a couple tries if you don't have a high dex or whatever, but I mean, you can do it. As you're doing it, he's cheering you on. And you eventually rope him. He doesn't move, of course, at all. He's just literally frozen there.
Yeah, he's going to try to pull him. Can he try to pull him?
Yeah. You can definitely pull him out. I mean, it probably takes a little bit, but as you start to drag him closer to the edge, Tom looks and he says, "Ooh, be careful not to break any of the mushrooms."
Oh,
the fairies
well,
do not like that.
I don't want to be cursed. I've been cursed by other people,
Hmm. 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 This is a problem. So
Well,
he's
let
probably
me
like right
walk
near
up
the edge.
there. Yeah, let me walk up there and see if maybe I can just pull him out without disturbing any of the mushrooms. Then.
Ooh. Ooh. Be careful. Unless you want to be trapped in the circle.
Oh no, no,
As
I'm not going to step across.
I was telling this one over here that I once knew a man who wanted to get away from his wife, so he went into the fairy circle, and by the time he walked out, she had passed on. 65 years had gone by. Then he was free, still young, to marry again.
Well, let me tell you what my trick is to get
Hmm.
away from the husbands of the wives that I get caught with. Run fast.
Yes, that's a good idea. That is a very good idea. He breaks off more of his bean sprout beard and starts chewing on it, and then he kind of like he's chewing on it, and then he goes, "Oh, I don't want to be rude," and he hands it. He like holds it up if you want some.
Oh, thank you. I may take a sauce of cheese in just a moment, but maybe see if I can pull this man out without
Hmm.
disturbing the mushrooms. Then he's going to. Adrian's going to walk up there and try to, reach in and grab Bjorn and just pull
Okay.
him out.
How tall are you? How strong are you? What's your?
13 strength plus one.
Oh, all right. So either your strength or your dex you can roll against just to see make sure you can do it without smashing the mushroom. Whichever one's
Dex is
better.
15, so
Yeah. So just roll a
the
d20
same.
and try to get under.
Oh yeah, 3.
Yeah. Yeah. You get him, and you just get just the right angle where you're able to kind of like pull him through, where there's a big enough gap, and as it literally, Yang, as soon as you're pulled from the circle, you just like your eyes just like open, and you're just like, you've been in here since the spring. And this is certainly not the man who was with you.
He gasps.
Put the sword down, man. Don't bring that big sword up. We're on your side.
Yeah, I mean, he falls down as he's pulled out of the circle, and he gasps, and he's looking around with a bewildered expression on his face, and he says, "What? What just happened?"
I brought you back to reality, my good man.
Yeah, I'll say just so that you understand. I think I did put this in the thing, which is I guess probably a total of maybe the equivalent of like 5 seconds has gone by for you,
Yeah.
Bjorn. Yeah.
Yep. And he says, I remember finding this circle of mushrooms, and everything started moving really, really fast. And who are you? How did I?
Well, they call me Adrian. I am a merchant.
For a moment, it felt like the world was spinning out of control.
And the other good man over here is my companion is Ashton. And well, the good man here sitting on the rock, the cheesemonger. I'm not for sure. I've not caught his name quite yet, but he seems to
I
be a
am
good
Tom.
fella.
I am Tom.
Yes.
Nice to meet you. I have been watching you for a while there. You were moving just ever so slowly.
Yeah, it felt like everything was just moving too fast for me to comprehend, and you all of a sudden you're here.
Yes.
My name is Bjorn Wolfson, and for this moment, I felt really disoriented. But what is this? He points at the circle of mushrooms.
Oh, so Tom will say, well, it's a fairy circle, clearly. I mean,
I've always
circle of
heard about
mushrooms
him.
in a glade.
I've always heard about him, but I never thought I would actually walk into one.
Gentlemen,
Yes.
I will be back in just a moment. Good Tom, I have to go get the rest of my companions. They were waiting for me to catch the white rabbit, which I did not. But when one of them gets here, now let me tell you, he's going to trade you some acorns for some of that cheese. I hope that's okay.
Ooh, acorns.
Yes.
Love acorns.
He's ate too many of them. But I'll be right back. And I'm going to go back down the path and get Piratessa and Enoch and tell them that everything appears to be okay. And to come
While Adrian is gone, Ashton's been sitting there like just flipping that silver coin through their fingers. And Ashton takes that opportunity while Adrian is gone to say, Tom, that other silver coin, for the other bit of information.
Oh, yes. Well, I mean, do you have any acorns? I have many silver coins.
Have no acorns on me. I have a friend of mine. There's a companion of mine that has acorns.
What else have you got?
All right. I have something. I'm willing to bet that you don't have, friend. And Ashton will flip the silver coin away. And Ashton kind of like claps, doing a little bit more a sleight of hand. And when Ashton opens their hand, there's a gold coin.
He looks at it. He says, "Oh, yeah, I don't have any of those." Kind of grimaces. You don't have, like, any acorns?
As I said, my companion has acorns.
Okay.
Excuse me. I'm so sorry to interrupt, but I was here with a few of my companions. Do you know where they went?
Oh. No, unfortunately not.
There was a burly guy, a short, skinny guy, and a very short fella. John, Bubba, and Ulrich were their names. They were just behind me when I found these mushrooms.
This I do not know. I wasn't here when you walked in. And they were not here when I arrived.
How long was I there?
Well, it was early spring, right? And now it is late fall? Maybe 5 or 6 months?
Oh, brother. It just felt like a couple of moments for me.
Yes. As I said, this is a good device if you're trying to get rid of people. You go into the circle. By the time you come out, everybody's gone.
Huh. He scratches his head.
Tom, how about this? And Ashton will pull out a standard ration and say, would this be worth some information?
He, like, sniffs it. I'll probably have to bury it in the ground for a week or two, but yeah, that sounds like a good trade. He sticks his hands out.
Ashton slowly gives it to the creature and says, I seek something.
It smells so fresh. Ugh. You seek something. Acorns?
Yes. No. A ring and an elven woman.
Well, are you going to marry the elven woman? That's not very common.
This is yet to be determined, but I believe there is a woman trapped somewhere inside these woods or nearby. And
You're looking for something?
To set this woman free.
You're looking for something, you said? A ring?
Yes, Bjorn. I'll be with you momentarily. Do you know anything, Tom, about this woman in this ring?
He's looking back and forth between the two of you. Well, lots of people are trapped in the forest. Perhaps she went into a fairy circle. Although, if she's an elvish woman, she's probably in the land of Fae, or Elfland, as they say.
I see. There
are many ways to enter the land of Fae, but it's not so easy for us mortals. The church of the humans does not like it.
Would a ring perhaps be one of the ways that we could get to this land?
Like a fairy circle ring?
Like a ring that you would wear on your finger.
Oh, why would you wear a ring on your finger? Don't you want to make armor out of it?
Perhaps you were searching for the Moonstone ring, the engagement ring that Sir Chide gave to his lady.
Okay, Bjorn, you've caught my attention. The what?
The Moonstone engagement ring that Sir Chide has given to his lady. It's a famous legend, and partly one of the reasons why I'm here. I'm not seeking the ring myself, but I am seeking the sword. I'm on a quest for the Whistling Razor.
See. What do you know of this ring, Bjorn?
He kind of
Well,
puts his head back and forth. The dwarf is kind of looking between the two of you very intently. So sorry, go ahead.
it is said that there lies a tomb of Sir Chide. He's a famous hero that slew the fairy giant Butter for Bones. And his tomb is supposed to be somewhere around here. And within it lies his body, obviously, and his sword, along with the ring, the Moonstone engagement ring that he gave to his lady, or he has received from his lady.
Interesting.
If you're seeking the ring, then our quest are one and the same.
I agree. Tom, it's been pleasant communicating with you. I feel I must return to my compatriots now. Bjorn, you're happy to tag along with our group. I'm sure they wouldn't mind having swordsmen such as yourself to help us in our journey.
Well, I'm not much of a swordsman. I try to do a few things with my sword, but I'm not that skilled as of now. Nowhere near the famous Sir Chide. But yeah, absolutely. I would love to tag along.
Great.
Meanwhile, Adrian gets back to Enoch and Piratessa smiling, and he looks at Enoch and he goes, "One of your saints has answered your prayers, my good man. Bring acorns and you can trade them for a block of cheese. Follow me. And he's going to take them back towards the group.
Oh,
Yeah.
some cheese. Oh, St. Keister. St. Keister. I see. I knew she was more special than that. Yes. Quick, let's get us some cheese.
You've got to have acorns to trade, though. Trust me.
I have them. Pyrotessa gave me those from this morning. 6 of them.
Follow me.
As Ashton hears everyone coming back this way to talk to speak to Tom or whatever, Ashton's gonna get close to Bjorn and say, "But let's not mention this conversation to the others just yet. I mean, you can tell them of your quest to get the sword, but the ring, let's just keep that between us." And Ashton will shake Bjorn's hand and put that gold piece in his hand.
No, I don't need this gold piece. You can keep that yourself. Why would you want to keep this information about the ring from the others? Are they not on the same quest?
Our goals lie in the same direction.
Well, if you feel that discretion is warranted, then I will not mention anything of this ring.
My good man.
Okay, yeah. So the rest of the party enters into the glade. You see that circle of mushrooms that is then encircled with stones. You see the Ashton, your party member, standing with a tall young man having a conversation, and you see this creature about 3 foot tall. He's kind of standing between them, looking back and forth, even though they're pretty much ignoring him at this point. And you definitely have the very strong sense of cheese, smell of cheese in the air.
Yeah. Oh, this is so delicious. I don't say Keister. Which fellow has the cheese?
The little man there with the large growth of beard.
Of course, of course. Yes. Yeah, excuse me, sir. An acorn, perhaps, for a bit of cheese.
Ooh, yes, yes. He takes his himself and he plops down on the ground, and he reaches into his pockets and he pulls out a chunk of cheese, and there's like centipedes crawling all over it. He wipes them off, and he says, "Ooh, how many acorns have you got?"
I have 6. I'd be
6.
willing to part with.
He starts feeling around all these different pockets, and then he's like, yeah. And you see he takes like a couple of the silver that you gave to him, and he just like throws them off into the woods, and he goes, "Okay, and he hands you the cheese, and then takes the acorns and spends some time getting them in each individual pocket.
Oh, well, then
And
thank you. This would go great with those mushrooms over there. We could just pick up and fry them up.
No,
yes.
don't approach those mushrooms.
No, but that would be good with the cheese.
Yes.
But
mushrooms.
He is protected. He is protected by saints. Let him do what he wants to do.
No, you don't understand. You walk into that circle of
Bjorn.
mushrooms and you're going to find yourself in this whirlwind of change.
Bjorn, Enoch is very well versed in things not of this world.
Yes. Gastronomy.
Let Enoch do as Enoch does.
Well, I don't think that you should eat the mushrooms, says the little man.
Oh, why not?
It's a fairy
Well-
circle. I just came out of there.
Fairy circles, superstitious. Saint Keister has blessed us with cheese, and look, an additional blessing of mushrooms.
No, those are not the kind you can eat. Not all mushrooms are edible, Enoch. You know that.
I'm not 100% sure that he's going to be able to help you find that ring.
Ashton is going to look at Adrian and kind of signal to Adrian, like, push Enoch into the circle.
Oh. Adrian looks back at you and he starts smiling, and he just drops on the ground and crosses both legs and arms and sits there to watch all this and says nothing.
Puritessa goes over to the little man. She's fascinated by his bean sprout beard, and she says,
Oh.
How do you know about the ring?"
Oh, I have been coming here every day since everybody knows about rings, fairy rings.
No. You said you won't be able to help you find the ring.
Oh, right, because they're looking for the ring, the engagement ring, the moon ring. Is that what it was called? And he looks at Bjorn.
Bjorn looks at Ashton and shrugs.
What do you mean moon ring?
Moon ring.
Bjorn, do you know about the ring that we're supposed to find?
Well, Ashton, it seems like they already know.
Oh, good man. I'm the one that rescued you. I mean, I know your brain's a little foggy from being there for 6 months, but do tell.
All right, then. Well, I was searching for the tomb of Sir Chide. For about a fortnight, I was having a very vivid dream about finding his sword within his tomb that's said to be deep in Dolmenwood. So I've been on the quest to find Sir Chide's legendary sword, Whistling Razor, ever since. So I joined a group of people who said they could guide me through the woods, and the last thing I remember is finding the circle of mushrooms. You see,
Your guide must have been kind of like our guide.
well, I don't worship any particular god. I mean, I do have a great respect for the Fae and the forces
No,
of nature.
sir, not the word guide. I don't use the word guide much. Guide, our
Oh.
guide.
My guide. Yeah, I was asking Tom over here what happened to John, Bubba, and Ulrich. They were just here a moment ago before I stepped into that circle of mushrooms. And now you're all here.
So
Well,
did you
evidently
say,
they're not-
sir, that you are not a believer of the one true God?
No, not what I said. We'll get to that in a moment.
No, but both of you, is that what are you deceiving me?
Well, if I were to witness the power of God before my own eyes, perhaps my conviction may change. But so far, all I've seen is power of magic about these Fae and the Glades.
Faith. Look what brought us here. The faith of Brother Enoch brought us here. Where I
Yes,
rescued you.
and the saints have guided us every step of the way. I mean, look at here. Saint Keister has blessed us with cheese and now mushrooms.
You see his, eyebrows furrow, and he scratches his head and says, "That is quite a miracle."
It is, considering all I've had is acorns.
I suppose you're right.
Here you go, good man. You probably need to wash the fog out of your brain with some of that water. And Adrian's going to throw in the water skin of the water they got from that.
Yep.
Yeah, he grabs it and says, "Yeah, I was feeling a bit dizzy after seeing the world spin out for a moment," and then he takes a deep sip.
Nice.
Yep.
It's delicious. It is like Pellegrino. It's got a little bit of a salty taste, but it's bubbly and refreshing.
It's delicious. I think I stopped hearing this strange barking in my head.
That's Brother Enoch's stomach rumbling.
I did share.
Yeah. So as I was saying, and he looks at Ashton and just shrugs and says, "You know about the battle between the folks and the Cold Prince, right? The war some 900 years ago."
Yes.
Yes.
And thank God for Saint Abthius.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this tyrant would not have been finally banished.
And surely you've heard of Sir Chide, the great hero, yes?
Well, I know of Saint Chode. I don't know of Sir Chide.
Well, in the midst of the war, the fabled hero fell in love with a woman they call the Lady of the Wood. She's this sorceress maiden. We don't know where she's from, but it is said that they met deep in these woods, Dolmenwood here, somewhere, and it's said that they exchanged the ring of engagement. And when Sir Chide was slain finally in the battle, his dying wish was to be interred with a ring, his sword, and a portrait of his lady. So perhaps it's the ring of engagement that you're seeking. It's called a Moonstone engagement ring.
Well, now here's my question, Foggy, though, is that this sword, it would have some value, right? I mean, I'm a merchant. I can probably help us find a good seller in the city somewhere, right? If we sold it?
No. The reason why I set out on this quest is because I've been having this vivid dream of wielding the sword. The sword's name is.
You've got a good sword there in front of you. There's nothing wrong with the sword you're carrying.
Yeah, but you cannot ignore these types of dreams. Why would
See,
I have the same dream for 6 days in a row, 6 nights in a row?
Because the saints are trying to talk to you.
Perhaps
Your stubbornness. If you just open yourself to the saints, you will see the clarity of your dreams.
Well, that is my quest. The sword whistling razor, once wielded by Sir Chide. That's the only reason why I'm wandering about in this forest. Otherwise, I would probably stay home.
Well, see, that's what I'm telling you. A sword that famous, we take to the city, and a museum will pay riches for it. I can promise you.
Yeah, but I'm not interested in any riches. It's the sword that drives me and compels me to come here.
That's right.
Well, you may have another dream later on that compels you to listen to me too.
If there are any other treasures or any other trinkets that you find, you're free to keep. But the only reason why I'm here in the first place is to look for that sword.
Okay, Foggy. Okay.
Well, in the meantime, I think we should celebrate the finding of Foggy and the finding of this small man with these mushrooms and these cheeses.
Foggy? My name is Bjorn. Bjorn Wolfson. I'm not Foggy.
Bjorn Wolfson. Yes, the cheese and mushrooms.
And
For
acorns.
everyone. And, well, we will always have acorns, won't we?
Well, when you say the acorns, Tom starts feeling his pockets to make sure he still has them, and he kind of side eyes Ashton because he thinks that Ashton's some kind of wizard.
Can I ask him, is your beard edible?
Well, I mean, of course. And he breaks some off and hands it to you.
She'll take a bite.
Yeah,
You're delicious.
It's bean sprouts. Yeah, it tastes like bean sprouts.
Yeah. She starts laughing.
Do we notice anything happening to Bjorn after drinking the water yet?
No, nothing.
What?
Nope.
Ashton looks at Piratessa and says, "Would you like some cheese to go with that?"
No, I saw him wipe like centipedes off the cheese, so no thanks.
Oh,
But-
the cheese that Tom gave to me did not have centipedes on it. See, no centipedes.
Yes,
You
St.
can
Cornus.
see a few centipedes. You can see a few centipedes crawling on Ashton's arm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no thanks. But instead of mushrooms, acolyte Enoch,
Yes.
why don't you eat some of these? This gentleman over here, he's very nice and he's very delicious. Here, and she'll hand him the bean sprouts.
Well, this sounds fabulous. St. Horse blesses us again with the bean sprouts of beard. Is that what this is? And he'll munch on it.
Now, if
It's
we
good,
could
tastes
just
like bean
find
sprouts.
a ever-flowing stream of wine, it just flows and flows and flows. What saint will bring us that?
Bjorn
Oh.
pinches his own cheek to try to wake up from this dream. He thinks that he's still dreaming.
Oh, it seems we are wasting daylight, compatriots. Perhaps we should be on our way.
Well, let's thank the good man here, though, that has provided us with information and cheese and stuff.
Yes,
without his
and,
help,
Yes,
and mushrooms.
No, not the mushrooms. Enoch, please don't touch the mushrooms.
But they'll be good with the cheese.
Enoch,
we can.
you can't control Enoch, Piratessa.
I
the
suppose.
saints control
Enoch is his own man.
the saints.
So let me clarify this.
Exactly.
You're all on a quest to search for the tomb yourselves. Is that right?
A ring, actually.
I see.
So
But
if
you-
the ring is in the tomb, then I suppose that is where we need to go.
Aside
Yes.
from the legend, I know no other reason why people ought to seek such a ring. But yeah, it seems like our destination is one and the same, the tomb.
Well, this makes sense. This is why St. Eggert blessed us the other day to point us towards the tomb. You see,
Exactly.
a crypt, a tomb. St. Eggert was there. That's why we became these skeletal beings.
Do you know how to find the tomb?
Well, St. Cornus will show the insects the way, and we will follow them.
I remember having very vivid dreams about the location of this tomb, but I don't know how to match what I saw in the dreams to where we are.
Now,
Well, that's
that is
why we
what
call
I'm
you
here
Foggy.
for. I can lead us to this tomb, Bjorn. Do not worry.
All right.
Tom,
Yeah.
it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, well, I think he should come with us.
Oh.
I thought you were going to get mushrooms, Enoch.
Oh, yes, but do you want to come with us, Tom?
Uh, I could come with you. He smiles.
You could play your wonderful music.
Oh. And he runs back and gets the gourd because it's on the ground on the other side of the thing. I don't have enough pockets. And you see him kind of looking at the silver that he threw on the grass, and he's kind of looking at it. And then he thinks for a second, and he takes off his shoes, and he puts the silver inside his shoe, and he puts it back on. And he says, I'm ready. Where are we going?
Good. We're going to find this tomb.
Lead on,
after-
Sir Wallace.
Yes.
What's the tomb look like?
Well, we will wait for the saints to reveal that.
Actually, you can roll under your wisdom there, Enoch. Or not.
Yeah. Or not.
Oh.
Okay. So,
Now I roll high. That's
right, of course. It's always the opposite. Yeah,
Exactly.
okay. Go ahead, Crystal, and roll a d6.
3.
Fantastic. Okay. So you guys are traveling, with Tom through the thick forest. Let me get my map of Dolmenwood here. And you travel through most of that. That took a little while, clearly. You think you're getting closer to where you need to be. You think. But you do not encounter the tomb tonight. As the light starts to fade, you realize you're going to need to look for a campsite if you want to get a decent one. So, let's do a
Adrian on the
campsite
trip
hunting.
is going to walk to Bjorn and just kind of low talk to him and go, listen, Bjorn, if the saints of Enoch, I think he said there's 130 something to protect us. But anyway, if they do not protect you and something ill befitting happens to you, be okay. I take the sword, right?
He just looks at him with a very suspicious stare.
Well, I mean, I just want to, I'll make sure the sword gets to someone, that's reasonable, of course.
Well, I would appreciate it if you don't stab while I have my back turned towards you.
What is the deal with everybody accusing me of doing all these evil things? Do I really look that evil? My goodness, my man. I'm just, I'm a merchant. I have to make plans if something happens to the owner. I mean, you're going to be the owner, and if something happens to you, hey.
Well, I have yet to encounter anybody who would ask such a question of me.
But see, I have intelligence.
Well, I will tell you what, Adrian. If I meet an untimely demise in this quest for the sword, then certainly. I have
But
no
see-
say in it. I'm not going to be around to protest should you take the sword.
But see, you're probably not, because like I say, Enoch has the 136 priests or saints or friars, whatever they're called. They're protecting us. We're okay.
Let's just hope that the vision that I had in the dreams would translate to reality.
Of course.
Awesome. Okay, yeah, so let's look for a campsite. You want to roll again, Crystal, since you're leading the pack? 2d6. Crystal?
Oh, sorry, I was muted. 7, 5, and 2.
7. Perfect. Okay, yeah. You're looking around and you find a decent site. Tony, roll a d30.
All right.
I'm not sure if anybody else has one, so I always have Tony roll it. Does anybody else have a d30?
A 5.
I do.
5. Nice.
Yeah, I do.
You do, Crystal? You usually roll 1 as well, Crystal.
All right.
Oh, nice.
A 6.
Wow.
6. Perfect. Right next to each other. Yeah, you find a stretch of bracken and heather. So nice, soft fern to lay in and peaceful. And it is. Oh, wow. And it actually is kind of, there's like a kind of a relatively, like maybe 50, 60 foot tall kind of cliff up the side, kind of reaching over, that's cut of solid stone. So, it's like basically rock, probably a glacier. So it's nice. It's not like dangerous to be underneath it. So you set up on this nice soft area of bracken and heather under this thing, and you know that even if it were to rain or something, you would be completely clear. And it's also pretty, gives you some protection as well from any predators as you're kind of blocked by one side. That is a good campsite. Someday I will go through and do all these camping rules because they're really cool, but I'm not going to do that right now. We will just say that, are you guys doing shifts and stuff?
Yeah, and Adrian is really watching Bjorn to see if anything has changed about him after drinking that water still.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Yeah.
Yeah, sure enough. So it's funny you should say that. All right, so you guys are actually. I also have to see if you guys can find food and water. Let's see. Yeah, there's a this cliff area is basically off to the side of one of it. There's like a bit of a water. It's not like a heavy waterfall, but water's coming down. There's nice clear water there. If you want to forage, you can roll for that. Somebody who chooses.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to snare a rabbit, like I said I was gonna
so,
do.
Yeah, so make a d6 roll, 1 or 2, and you'll be able to catch something.
Oh, a 2.
Nice, yeah. You can set up your snare and you catch some nice food. Maybe there's also some berries and stuff. As you're kind of setting up camp nicely around this kind of secluded area, everybody goes on, into the night and takes shifts. Let's see. There's 4 of you, right? Yeah, so that means between 4 shifts, you're each only staying up a little bit, so that's not too bad. So I don't think you'd have any trouble at all. And let me just roll to see if anything exciting happens. Where's the exciting chart? Let's see. You are... Nope, the night goes by without incident. It's very comfortable. If you need to rememorize spells or anything like that, you certainly could do that. I don't think anybody casts any spells yet. But one thing you do notice, though, now that we have the mechanical stuff out of the way, is after the sun goes down and you're all kind of sitting around the fire, it's the firelight's flickering here and there, and you start to look around and you can see the transformation happening again. Your skin is... beginning to become transparent, and then the muscles underneath, and then eventually you're skeletal. This happens to all of you, including Bjorn. But of course, not to Tom, because he.
Well, Saint Eggert has blessed us again.
Bjorn
We're on the right path.
Bjorn looks at the 4 so-called rescuers turn into skeletons, and he says, "Ah!" He screams like a girl.
He says, "No, Bjorn, look at yourself. You are also."
I am dreaming. This is a nightmare.
No,
I am
calm
cursed.
down. Calm down.
No,
No,
this is a blessing.
I don't think it's a blessing, but it's not. It's not. You're not cursed, Bjorn. Calm down.
What?
It's okay.
It is a blessing. It's a blessing of Saint Eggert.
He, brings up his sword and places the sword between him and the rest of the group and says, "Explain in small words so I could understand what is happening and what have you done to me?"
Oh,
Saint
we have not done
Eggert
it.
was a very wise man who stayed down in the crypts. And he watched over the crypts and constantly lit things with candles. And because of his devotion to those who have died, he has become its patron saint. And this is his blessing from beyond the grave, pointing us towards this tomb that you talked about. This is merely him saying that we are on the right path.
Bjorn stabs the sword into the ground and slaps himself real hard.
Really, Bjorn,
And
what you need to know is fairy magic is fickle. And this
first,
is
the
fairy
world
magic doing
turns
its thing.
around and spins, and now I find myself surrounded by skeletons, and now I'm turning into a skeleton. And you're telling me this is a blessing of some saint?
Let me explain it in very simple words. Shut up, go to sleep. When you wake up in the morning, hey, everything's perfect.
Also, never point that sword at me again.
Well, a challenge.
Well, no.
It's just fairy magic. It's just fairy magic, Bjorn, and it'll go away.
And no, the blessings of the gods. This is the blessings of the saints. You know,
I need a drink.
she just eats fire. That's all.
I'll throw him
She's
the
a
water
fire
skin
eater.
again.
He takes a
Actually, when
sip.
you say that, Young, so you guys probably weren't paying attention, but or maybe you were. Maybe you were like, "What is he doing?" Tom had like scooped up in a gourd a lot of the water from the waterfall, and you kind of saw him like picking his ears and stuff and like putting it in the water, and then he kind of stuck his hand in there for a while, and then he's been drinking it. And when you say that, he says, "Ah," and he kind of puts the gourd towards you, and you actually can smell the very yeasty smell of beer as he offers it to you.
And then he takes the water skin and then smells it, and he says, "No, it's just water." And he smells that, liquor, and says, "Yeah, this is what I need." And he chugs it down.
Yeah, it's good. Actually, let me see if there's any adverse effects to a human drinking it. Hold on a second.
What are these chunks that are? He spits them out. Otherwise, it's
Oh,
pretty good.
save those.
Yeah. And then he hands back the water skin back to Tom.
Yeah, he takes it and continues to drink. Let me just quickly make sure that I don't think there's any
Thanks a
adverse
lot,
effects.
Tom. I needed that.
Oh, no problem. We all need a little bit of beer sometimes.
I pat Bjorn on the arm and I say, "Don't worry, Bjorn. As I told the rest of them the other night, you also have very lovely bones. They're lovely. Don't worry."
I should also ask, you did not take any of those mushrooms, right?
No.
I didn't.
No.
Bummer. All right.
I gave him the bean sprouts instead.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's a very large like roll on the mushroom chart here.
Dang it.
Bjorn rubs his forehead and looks to Adrian and says, "So you're saying that if I wake up in the morning, all this would go back to normal? Is that right?"
Well, of course. I mean, when you first met us, we were normal, right?
Yeah, but all right. Well, what have I
Oh.
got to lose?
I like to think that all of a sudden Bjorn sees a tree go, "All right, Bjorn, I hope you're ready for a trip." And then everything starts going psychedelic because he drank that beer.
Yeah, it's very, very strong beer. It's kind of bitter. I mean, it's not the best beer you ever had, but I mean, you probably it's definitely palatable. It's not like I said, it's not the best beer, but in the situation, it did the job, and it's actually very strong. So you sleep well, I'll say.
Ooh, Pirates is like, "I wonder if it looks cool if I eat fire while I'm a skeleton." You're like, "See?"
I bet it does.
Yeah. Gonna have to try it.
Ashton pulls that silver coin and begins to flick it between his fingers and makes making a skeletal sound each time it passes from one finger to the next, like in Pirates of the Caribbean. Chink 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 chink.
Nice. Yeah, you guys can definitely do that. And the night passes, without incident. Besides that, you have a little bit of a buzz going on there, Bjorn, but you're not hungover or anything. And once Tom has finished his drink, he'll kind of curl up on the ground, and you see that he dug a bit of a hole and buried the ration, and then urinated on it, and then he's sleeping on top of it.
We saw him urinating on his rations.
Well, on the dirt above the ration, not on the ration.
Okay.
I mean,
Did he
Come on,
like
that'd be
pee
gross.
wine or did he pee wine or something?
no, he did not.
Bjorn looks at that and he goes like, and then he like spits on the ground, and he shrugs and goes to sleep.
Yeah, I mean, he's a Mostdwarf. Listen, different cultures,
Cheese?
Cheese
Anyone
is
want
very
some
good.
cheese?
I mean, if you like stinky cheese, it's good.
Yes.
very simple.
Enoch, yes. Blessings from the saints, and Ashton will hand Enoch that cheese.
Yeah, you're definitely not
Yo.
sneaking up on anybody.
Go with your rabbit. I roasted your rabbit for you, Enoch.
Oh, thank you. Much appreciated.
Yes, you guys definitely have a good rest. And as you now have guessed, when you awaken in the morning in the first, you have the dream again. Actually, both Bjorn and Bjorn, you have the normal dream that you normally have. Ashton, you have the dream again of the direction to go just past this waterfall. And heading in that direction. It's not a very wide. You can walk across. It's probably like a 5-foot wide river, and there's stones and stuff. As the first rays of sun hit you guys, slowly your flesh returns to normal.
Ashton is standing there under the stars as the sun begins to go through the trees and hits their flesh, and they slowly unskeletonize, and they're puffing on their pipe, and they point their pipe, waving it vaguely in a direction and going, "We must go this way."
All right.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, assuming you're following Ashton, you guys wade across that small river, and off along kind of the edge of this, kind of glacial outcropping, and then back into kind of a forested area as you're traveling. A couple hours into the journey, everybody hears it 'cause it's pretty loud, the sound of what could be nothing but a child screaming, like, help me, help! Strange accent to the voice, but definitely a child and definitely speaking in a language that you understand. And it seems to be coming from kind of ahead of you and into the woods. And as you kind of look in that direction, you can see the branches and stuff shaking and moving, kind of maybe like 15 feet ahead of you. So what do you guys want to do?
Adrian will look towards Ashton and go left and right again, right?
Ashton hesitates for a moment, and then finally just like nods.
Bjorn has his sword drawn and he's jumping towards where that sound is coming from.
Okay.
Oh, the fool's going to get himself killed before we find that good sword.
I will
Okay.
get my staff out and kind of follow behind Adrian, but not, too close.
Yeah, I'm going around to the left side of where this is coming from.
Okay.
To try to sneak.
Ashton
Okay.
is heading right.
All right, but Ashton's going to wait a few seconds, or that was just a flavor?
No, like,
Okay, going right
yeah,
away, you're
just
gonna wait
flavor.
around.
Yeah,
Okay.
flavor.
What
yeah.
about Enoch?
Well, Enoch thinks this is another sign, so he's just assured that we are on the right path. This is, this is clearly Saint Craven of the child martyrs. So
Nice.
he's pretty relaxed about this.
So he's going to hang out on the path for now? Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, you burst through the branches, and there's a small clearing in front of you, Bjorn. You see, it's almost 10 foot tall, although it's crunched over. Like it looks like a burdock bush. So you see like the spiny flowers kind of coming off of it, and the foliage is like flopping around and moving, and it seems to be wrapped around this young child. And you see that like its roots are up out of the ground, but they're kind of like squirming and like digging a hole, almost trying to get like it looks like it's trying to get back into the ground as it's pulling this child into the ground. It's not really going to react to you immediately if you wanted to attack it, because it's trying to basically burrow into the ground with the child. So if that's what you want to do, you're more than welcome
Yeah,
to do so.
he's gonna yell out to his companions. There's a child. There's a child that's held by a tree, and it's trying to burrow its way down into the ground. Help me, guys! And then he pulls out his what's it called? The sling, and puts a stone in it and whirls it and launches it towards the branch that's holding the child.
Okay, make an attack. So it's d20.
With a roll of 2, that misses.
Can't be a 2. Well, I mean, it's 2
actually,
plus whatever you're about. Yeah, you're in
2
short
plus-
range, so it's a missile weapon, but it's still not going to be enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. You are in short range. I think that's +5. You'll have to look at the chart. Sorry, I don't have it open.
Yeah, it's +5.
It's +5.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's +5. Yeah, so 7, I guess, is what you got. And then if you have any dex.
Yeah,
Okay,
plus-
yeah, you guys. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Warriors also get +1 too, right? So it's 3 plus 5,
Yep.
8.
Yes, that's not enough. So you whip the stone and it flies past this thing. I mean, it's a bunch of branches swinging around, so the stone probably like goes through a hollow spot. But as you do that, the others that were creeping around, you guys kind of creep and you can see what's going on. You see this thing pulling the child into the ground. And I guess I'm assuming you have your crossbows out like you did before, if you want to do anything.
Yeah, Adrian will look back at a Puritessa who was kind of falling behind him, and he goes, the crossbow is not going to do any good with this thing, but if we can get it to let go of the child, I think maybe you could burn it for us?
I eat fire. I'm in these woods to learn how to throw fire.
Well, do you have a torch or something maybe?
Absolutely.
Well, you get that ready, and I guess I'll go in and help Hero to see if we can cut the child loose. And I'm going to shoulder my crossbow and get out my short sword and slowly go in. I'm just going to like slowly go in this time and not really take any action.
That's fine.
Yeah, Daniel.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead.
I was gonna say
Go
I
ahead,
do eat fire, so I do have a flask of oil and stuff. So I would probably start to get that ready, and I would throw something at the thing when it's my.
Okay, yeah, if you pull your flask of oil out and you're going to try to like set it up as a Molotov, basically.
Yes.
Just be aware, of course, that if your child's wrapped up in the branches and you hit it with fire, it might hit the child. But think that over while you're doing that. What about Ashton? I'm sorry.
Ashton is not a melee fighter, and Ashton is just going to take the chance with the crossbow and fire off 17 to hit.
Okay, yeah, it sticks into the kind of the trunk of this thing. You see, it just barely penetrates it, and you can see just like a little bit of like sticky white sap drip down from where the arrow went in. It doesn't seem like it did much to it, but it definitely hit it. And the cleric is out in the hallway, not paying attention.
Yes.
Let's see what is our friend the dwarf going to do? No, he's back with the cleric.
Yes. I
He
yell,
says to you-
Saint Craven, show us the way.
Ooh, where
Saint
are these
Craven.
saints that you always talk about?
Oh, they're very good people who have all passed.
They passed by here. Why didn't they help the
Yes.
girl? Okay, so going into the next round. All right, next round. So whoever, I guess, you're engaged with. Well, actually, nobody's engaged. You're
Bjorn?
running forward. Yeah, Bjorn, you went in first, so you roll initiative for the group. So just roll a d6 for the group, and we will figure it out. 3 for the monster.
I got 4.
All right, you go first. Missiles first. So if you're going to sling again, and also
No,
crossbow.
he's gonna drop that, and then he's gonna grab his sword again, and he's gonna
Okay.
charge and try to, slice the branch to free the
All
child.
right, so you'll go after then. If assuming Asher wants to shoot again, you'll go first, Asher. And I guess you're probably muted or you're not saying anything.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. 18 this time.
Okay, another bolt barely penetrates into it, but yeah, more little sap trips out. Go ahead, since you're being more aggressive, Young. Oh, actually, no. You're going to throw the oil.
What are the chances of hitting the child? Like, what's my? I don't know. Do I?
100%.
Yeah,
It's
then,
wrapped
yeah.
around the child.
I knew that. I would do that. Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah. I mean, do you want to do something else instead?
I will throw a sling at it first.
I guess what I'm saying is, if your plan was once they cut the child free, you're going to throw the oil on the creature to kill it. That would be fine with the Molotov. If you throw it at the creature while it's holding the child with the Molotov, it's basically wrapped around the child. So you're going to.
Yeah, that was Adrian's kind of plan too. Pyrotexa was to wait till they get the child loose from the bush.
Yeah. So you
Okay,
can
well
prep
then, yeah,
the
then
thing
I will
this
wait.
round, and then. So you prepped it last round. So what do you want to do this round? So you have it now, but obviously you're not going to throw it yet. You're just going to wait, or do you want something else?
I'll wait.
Okay. So you switch weapons and you run forward, Bjorn. Go for it.
Yeah, he actually swung, and he gets 25 total.
Oh, nice. Oh yeah, that takes a big chunk out of it. 25. Okay, so that's. Oh wow. Okay. All right. I'm gonna roll to see if it lets go of the child. High or low? Young.
High.
Yeah. You swipe through and you chop the branches that are holding the child, and it rolls away. Leaving the creature now not holding the child. And now, if you want to throw the oil, you can, because even since you didn't do anything else, Pyrotexa.
Not holding the child.
Nope. It let go.
Yep. I will throw it.
Make an attack. Okay. I'm just gonna say that because obviously the oil has no bonus. I'm not gonna use full armor class for a missile like this because obviously you just have to hit it with it. So I'm just gonna say you got to hit AC 12. Yeah.
AC 12. Okay, got it.
Yeah. If you hit AC 12, it hits it.
I rolled a 16.
All right. Yeah. So just do D8 damage of fire as the flaming oil slashes into it.
4.
Okay. Yeah, it's burning up and screaming. As it can scream, and you can see like the leaves starting to burn back. The child is rolled away, and it's trying to fight its way because the branches that are wrapped around it still seem to be a little bit alive. As it's trying to pull itself free from the branches, but it's away from the main creature.
Yeah, Adrian's going to use his steel instead of attacking, and he can run up and grab the child and get him out of the harm's way.
Absolutely. Yeah, so you do that. You grab the child and run out of the space. It's barely standing at this point, so I think it's going to try to dig itself back in. But go ahead and do another. Actually, does anybody else want to attack it? Well, with a weapon before I do another fire damage.
Is it a new turn?
I'm not going to bother rolling initiative because it's basically going to try to escape. So you can, if you want to attack it because you're standing there, you can.
Bjorn's going to try to attack it again.
Yeah. You can see it's basically burning up.
All right, 28.
Oh,
good lord!
And that's it's a natural 20 over there.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so you this thing's like burning up and trying to dig its way out, and you just come through with the sword and you right through the middle of it, and it kind of like falls into itself, and then all the fire catches up and it just goes whoosh. Like you actually probably feel like there are some of the hairs on your face like burn back a bit because the fire just almost a magical explosion, no damage or anything, but almost a magical explosion, and then when you look, the thing just like it's basically dust.
So Bjorn at that point turns around and walks very slowly, and he puts the sword behind his back, and then he's doing the spy walk after there's a big explosion in the background.
He's like, bow, bow, bow. You see Adrian as you run away with this child. You pull her out. You see right away that this is maybe the equivalent of about a 9-year-old girl. She looks at you, and you can see that she's very frightened, but she doesn't look really hurt. She's clearly fey, as her skin. She had like a hood over her head. She has blonde, like very very bright blonde hair and super green eyes, and her skin is actually has the pattern of like you've probably never seen a tiger before, but you've seen a tiger as a person, so it has the pattern of a tiger. And she's crying, and she looks up at you and she says, "Oh, thank you. Oh, I knew I wasn't supposed to come here, but I just wanted to pick some flowers."
Oh, well, there's nothing wrong with that, unless you get into one of the flowers who wants to pick you, of course.
You're very brave. Thank you.
Oh, I know I am. I'm one of the bravest. My group, I trained the whole group of the men. You see how well they fought to protect you.
Oh yes, I am Springs Noon's Arrogance.
Ah, you can call me Adrian. Piratessa, come on out. And I'll call for Piratessa since she's, to come out. And then I'm going to go, dear child, where are your parents at?
Oh, they're back. She kind of looks a little bit like, she's clearly looking, as you can see that you're all like humans. And she says, "You know where the ones like me are. You're not gonna eat me, are you?"
Oh no. No.
No. Now, we do have a priest with us that likes to eat a lot, but he won't eat children.
Oh, yeah, because they told me, they say to stay away from the mortals because you eat us.
No, we don't eat fairies. At least I don't. My name's Bjorn, by the way.
Oh, nice to meet you, Sir Bjorn. And she kind of like bows. I am Spring Noon's Arrogance.
Saint Enoch, it's safe to come on in.
Spring Noon's Arrogance. That's a lovely name.
Oh,
I'll come in, munching on some of Tom's beard.
Yep.
Yeah, Tom comes in too, and he sees her, and he's like, "Ooh, an elf!" And he's like pointing. And she kind of blushes a little bit.
An elf, you say? An elf?
Yeah, I think so. Are you an elf? And she's, "Yes, sir." Well, I'm not really supposed to be here, but
we could
and she
take
reaches
you
into like a little. Oh, go ahead.
We could take you back to your home.
Oh, I don't think you're supposed to go where I live. I'll be okay. It's just behind this tree. But here, and she reaches into her bag and she pulls out like a dandelion, and when she lifts it up, it turns like they get like white when they're gonna throw the seeds, and she hands it out to whoever wants to take it. Probably Paratessa is probably the most interested in it, but she probably would be handing it to Adrian.
Yeah.
And she says, "Blow on this and think of where you need to be, and the seeds will carry you." And then she kind of bows, like almost like your nobility or something. And then she quickly, unless you stop her, she quickly just goes behind the tree. And if you go and look, she's gone.
Ashton, I don't believe we need your directions anymore.
Can you believe we saw an elf, you guys? A real elf.
Did you see that tree thing?
This is quite remarkable.
Well, now, I did see you take that sword and slice the ever-living branches out of it, of course, at the end. I mean, is there something special about the sword you have now? I mean, that was a pretty powerful blow, my man.
Well, it's just something that I've been carrying ever since I bought it from the blacksmith.
Ah, it's a good one. Good blade. Has anyone seen Ashton? Where is Ashton?
Ashton has come out. And Ashton says, well, I'm just glad that the elf got to meet Adrian, not only the most powerful of our group who trained us all, but also the most humble among us all.
Of course. I mean, you have to use speech to calm a child's nerves, you know.
Yes.
But anyway, you see what they did. The child is giving us a gift to get us to where we need to go.
That is what she said.
The tomb. The tomb of Sir Chide.
Well, is that where we want to go, Adrian?
Well, we're working for you. Ain't that where we're supposed to go?
Well, I feel as if I know the way that we need to go. But if you would like to blow on your dandelion and waste it, feel free.
She said
But
exactly it would get us where we need to go, Daniel. Were her exact words, right?
Is that what she said?
I think so.
Yeah, if you think about I mean, I didn't write down exactly what you said. Essentially, the gist of it is that if you, it's like a, you blow on it and it'll take you where you need to go. Meaning, like if you tell it where you want to go, it'll bring you there. Not like it's your fate.
Yeah.
Although you could interpret it that way, I suppose. But that's not what I meant. I don't want to lead you like astray there. No,
Okay,
she means
just
like
making
if you
sure.
were like, I want to go back to town, and you blow it, it'll blow in that direction.
Okay, yeah, I just want to make sure it's not some weird fairy thing where you really need to
No,
go.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like terrible. So
No,
Okay.
yeah, I did. That's why. Yeah, I want to just. I'll clarify because it did. It's not like it was written exactly. I just kind of.
Oh, okay, just making sure.
Yeah, I mean that's what she said. Whether or not it's true,
Right.
yeah,
I mean you did help her. I mean you
Yeah.
would know, especially as a magic user, and certainly Tom could confirm this that fairies can be very fickle, but if you do help them or serve them, they definitely they will gift you with things. Like
Okay.
in this case,
uh,
it's not
Ash-
uncommon.
Ashton will suggest that maybe they should save that flower for when they need to get out of the forest. But, of course, she gave it to Adrian, the bravest among us, who trained us all. So,
Oh, well, I gave the dear flower to good Piratessa also, who was here calming the child down while you were off in the woods.
Well, regardless, we have to get to the tomb of Sir Chide. I had another vivid dream of the burial chamber of Sir Chide last night when I slept. Perhaps I could blow on it while thinking about that burial hall.
Well,
Well, our good boss here, Mr. Wallace, has been leading us in the right direction for how many days now?
4.
I actually think
and
that our
we are
guide.
nearly there.
I actually think that our guide might be correct in this, Bjorn and Adrian. I respect you both. Well, I don't really know you, Bjorn, but I'm assuming I'll respect you eventually. And I what if we get into trouble at the tomb and need to make a quick escape? It might be best to save the dandelion.
But see, you and Mr. Wallace have things that I don't have as much. I don't have as much wisdom to think about those things like you two do. So it's definitely up to you. I have no qualms about whatever decision you make.
Well, true wisdom is knowing that you're not wise, so I'm told. But yeah, if you feel that we could find the tomb without the help of this magical dandelion, yeah, I'd rather trust you to guide us there.
Well,
Well,
Mr. Wallace blows the smoke from his pipe every morning, and we continue that way. So,
But I do think this was a gift of St. Craven. I mean,
well,
she was going to be a martyred child, and this is a gift of the saints.
well, I'm not saying we should never use it, Brother Enoch, but I don't know if right now is the correct time.
How about we make a compromise? We'll give Ashton 2 more days, and if we're still wandering through the forest, we'll blow on it.
That sounds good.
all
I'll
right.
keep it safe.
Yes, you are the neutral party here, Piratessa. I want you to keep it safe for us.
I will keep it safe.
Because I'm afraid Brother Enoch may eat it with some of the cheese.
You don't want to do like you can eat dandelion, of course. It's quite bitter. Actually, the root you eat, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
at that, you're thinking about it and standing in the forest, having just defeated this root monster and met the Fey Child. You've decided to continue on, and I think we'll leave it at that, and we'll see where the fates take us next week.